Welcome to Now Go Lead, the podcast where we help you level up your leadership in just 5 minutes. Each episode, we provide inspiring stories and actionable insights to help you lead with confidence and clarity. Whether you're a seasoned leader or just starting out, our goal is to give you the tools and motivation to level up your leadership game.
Hello and welcome back to Now Go Lead. The story of St. Peter in the Bible is a worthy case study for developing next-level leadership. At the onset of his story, we see a young married man making a living as a fisherman. On one very normal day during a routine fishing trip, he has an encounter with his future leader. The text describes this short encounter as a fundamental pivot point in his life. Peter was so taken and drawn to this enigma that he left his job on the spot and became a follower. As the story unfolds over the next 3 years, you begin to understand that Peter is a man of extraordinary passion, and that passion occasionally manifests itself in bursts of anger, but most often is displayed in his fierce devotion to his leader. One night during a holiday dinner with the other followers, the leader stood up and made an announcement that some very bad things were about to happen. Peter stood up and declared with unmistakable clarity that he was willing to face this challenge and lay down his life for the leader that he loved. However, as the crisis began to play out, Peter folded like a cheap suit and ran away. A few hours later, while under close public scrutiny, he denied ever being associated with the leader just to protect his own butt. And immediately, as the words of denial left his mouth, Peter realized what he had done as he watched his leader be led off to be executed. I can imagine that in the days and weeks that followed, they were really hard for Peter. He had let his leader down. He had also made a fool of himself and probably lost a significant amount of credibility with his peers. But this is where the story becomes interesting, because a few days later, the leader miraculously returned. And in the wake of everything that had happened, the conversation between Peter and his leader is where we see a master class in teaching others. The leader questioned Peter 3 different times about his loyalty. And each time the question was asked, Peter was further embarrassed and ashamed, and he was reminded of how badly he had screwed up. But he told the leader, "You know me. You know my heart." In response, the leader challenged Peter, "Take up the mantle and become my successor in leadership." And while the exchange is certainly heartfelt and compelling, it's important to remember the history that they had shared together. You see, the leader had been preparing Peter for this moment from the very first day they met. Every conversation was intentional. Every encounter was tied to deep truth and meaning. It was about a vision greater than his own ambition. So when Peter was asked to lead, his response wasn't simply yeah, I think I can do this. No. Peter knew exactly what would be involved in the call to lead. He knew this because his leader had lived out the exact same life that he expected Peter to pursue. First, the kind of life he would lead was going to be difficult and full of stress. Over the years of teaching and training, Peter watched his leader take on the most difficult challenges and unfair situations with resolve and strength. Secondly, the experiences he would face along the journey would push him to his very limits. There were many moments when Peter saw his leader weep over the difficulties along the journey. There were 14-hour days, sleepless nights, and long stretches away from home and family. Thirdly, Peter's journey would lead to the same place as his own leader, ultimate sacrifice. His leader was always clear about what awaited at the journey's end. And although Peter didn't fully understand the full measure of sacrifice required, tradition tells us that Peter was executed in Rome many years later because of his unwavering pursuit of the vision his leader entrusted to his care. So take 5 minutes and consider, when your followers eventually get the call to leadership, will you have them prepared? What expectations have you set by the example of your leadership? Developing leadership in someone isn't easy, and it happens over years of close personal relationships. You have to make moment-by-moment intentional gains against the raw talent and ambition that exists in others. Even still, sometimes the people you feel that are most loyal and devoted to you will let you down in a crisis. And when that happens, always be prepared to take back a willing heart who is committed to move forward with your forgiveness. It's time to now go lead.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Now Go Lead. Join us next week as we cover a brand new leadership topic and help you level up your leadership in just 5 minutes. For more resources, tips, and inspiration, visit our website at nowgolead.com. You can also connect with us on Instagram at nowgolead and on LinkedIn. We would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us grow and reach more leaders like you. Also, don't forget to share this podcast with your colleagues and friends who are on their own leadership journey. Now Go Lead is produced by HP Engineering Studios in beautiful Northwest Arkansas. Now go lead.